What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Casual Wrestling Community Show. I am your host, the Notorious Nerdy D, and I am joined tonight by my co-host of the show, Level Up Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
Tonight, we break down the best and worst of pro wrestling for all the true casual fans out there. So whether you are listening on podcast networks or watching on YouTube, make sure to like and leave us a comment on this week's episode. Housekeeping. Season 1 of the casual wrestling content is alive and running. I finished my first week.
I know, that's awesome.
Of the Casual Wrestling Daily Show. It's been fun. It's been, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to put it all together every day. I enjoy listening to you
every week.
But it's been fun. Tightened it up to 5 stories a day.
Yeah.
And kind of trying to package it together. I want it to be like 15 to 30 minutes. That's all I want. It's not supposed to be an hour long. That's too much to listen to every day.
Yeah.
It's just like 15 minutes of the 5 most important things you need to know.
On your lunch break, wrestling. While you're working, whatever.
Yeah. I'm trying to stress this. We are on patreon.com. It is free to join and become a patron. It is not, I'm not trying to collect money, but it's just patreon.com/the casual wrestling show. I want everybody who listens to the show, go click the follow button there so that way you can get the updates. I'm going to do a weekly blog where I just kind of talk about what's going on. I get feedback there and everything like that. So I want people to really that is the new kind of home of the show. We tried Facebook. Facebook was messy. Twitter is messy. Discord is messy. All those places are messy. Patreon was the one place, and I know Patreon scares people because Patreon is like this place. Pay me. Yeah, Patreon's the place where it's like, pay me to make content. Mm-hmm. And that's not what I'm trying to do. It's just like the interface and my ability to post updates is extremely easy.
Well, that's good.
So it's an easy back. So it's just migrating people and getting people to actually sign up, put the app on your phone, and that way we can communicate back and forth.
I'm gonna do it right now.
do it right now. Right now. All right, so let's talk about the new way I want to start the show off is I want to talk about the things you might have missed from the Casual Wrestling Daily Show this week, and this gives me a chance to talk about these things with you. First thing, we talked about this today on the Casual Wrestling Daily Show, was the Crown Jewel press conference.
Yeah.
Which I woke up this morning and watched. You were watching it with me as we ate lunch. It finally looked like what I wanted it to look like. Mm-hmm. It finally looked the press this has been a learning process for WWE. We started with a folding table in the back room of a building to something that looked more like a press conference to now something that looks like a full-blown UFC press conference. And I know this was in Saudi Arabia and everything's a little bigger, but this is how that should be for all the big events.
Yeah.
And we learned a couple things. I learned about Omos and Braun Strowman. Mm-hmm. They weighed in. Omos weighs 416 pounds.
Shut up.
Yeah, that is.
I didn't get to watch that part because I was working, but that's crazy.
They kind of sold me on that match. I wasn't sold up until now. I didn't think I was not excited for that match, but they sold me on that match.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch
conference. Braun Strowman weighs 330 pounds, which is fucking insane. That man is he is in a physical specimen of a man.
When he came back, I told you, did he get bigger?
Bigger, but just fucking muscular. Yeah, I know that muscles don't equate to fighting, but I would not want to be punched by that man. I feel like that would fucking hurt. Him and Brock Lesnar are two guys that I'm just I don't want anything.
Monsters.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with those two guys. And then we learned, Lauren, that Jake Paul is going to be in the corner of Logan Paul. And we'll talk about this more later, Lauren. But all week, I've been hitting on the fact that I am more and more sold on this idea that Logan Paul, and this is what this was the job of WWE, was to make me believe that Logan Paul could win this match. And I think right now at this point, we talked about we're going to make our predictions kind of on the fly. I'm not locked in on who I'm picking. You have to hold your microphone if you're going to talk.
I'm going to talk in the microphone.
You said, you didn't have your microphone.
Yeah.
Something else you guys might have missed, this came from earlier in the week, was I talked about Mandy Rose having an it's not OnlyFans. I keep promoting it as OnlyFans because I think that is the title that gets people to pay attention.
It's what you equate it to, though.
But Mandy Rose,
for anybody, what did she have?
So it's 2 levels here. First off, Mandy Rose has her own private website that is essentially some form of OnlyFans where she has paid content that's behind a paywall that is a little more risque, right? Number two, the article that I specifically talked about is Mandy Rose is out here letting guys pay to have their junk rated.
Yeah.
By her.
I mean, it's kind of genius, but at the same time, if you're going to be like PG-13, you can't be rating guys' dicks.
Kind of genius in the aspect of like, there's girls who do this for a living and make money doing it, but like, isn't the WWE's whole thing like PG? How is she circumventing that system is what I don't understand.
I agree,
right?
because I remember us talking about, what is it, Paige Van Zant?
Yeah.
Can't say her name right. But like, that was one of the reasons why she didn't want to join WWE, is because they wouldn't allow her to still do all the stuff that she was doing.
So especially also with like Emma had to close down her OnlyFans account when she signed with WWE. Yeah. So it's weird to me that like Mandy Rose is circumventing this system somehow. Somehow she's getting around it and doing these things. And like, I understand there's like a blurry area of like, if you don't post nudity, how much can WWE really control that? Is WWE taking a cut of all of this? Like, that's weird too, right? Because I think the kind of deal breaker for Paige was always like, you're not going to stick your hand into my Twitch money, right? Yeah. And a lot of these wrestlers were like, we don't, if we're going to have Twitch accounts, we don't want you guys, and WWE was like, we need profit revenue from those things if you're going to do them. Yeah. So like, is this a partnership between WWE and Mandy Rose?
Well, I mean, if it is, then it's just fucked up, because then literally everything that you told everybody else to do was bullshit.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's like, you cannot run a company in a locker room allowing like, you can have these rules and then everybody else has these. And I said it this week on the show, it's funny, like her website reads so funny. You go to her website and it's a link tree. Yeah. You go to like mandyrose.com or something and it becomes a link tree, and you can like, she has workout videos that you can click. She has, you can buy the donuts between Sonya Deville and herself, only in Los Angeles, but like there's a link to order those. And then there's a link to like her adult content. And it is funny to me because WWE is skewed as like a kid's product. And
well,
like,
what if I'm a kid, right? And I go to Mandy Rose.
So I click the website. It's all hidden. Like you don't see anything unless you enter a fucking credit card in. Oh, you're not getting anything. I'm saying,
but like, does it say like click here now?
No,
like,
no. I mean, it's
how
really,
do you know?
It's
like,
very discreet. It's like a website, and then it's a bunch of these like little blocks that are blurred out, and it says like enter your payment to reveal the content. And like, I think it's obvious to adults. I don't think kids are stumbling into this, but it's still she is like, our kids are a fan of Mandy Rose.
Yes,
and so
I'm a fan of Mandy Rose.
And so I don't have a problem with the OnlyFans stuff. It's just
the hypocrisy.
It's like, how does Emma show up in WWE and she has to shut all her stuff down, but somehow Mandy Rose is circumventing this is extremely weird to me. The other thing.
Wait, what you didn't talk about.
Go for it.
A double nipple picture.
No,
double nipple pic.
When I talk about, and some things I got to say for people to go back and watch the other show to see it. But what you're referring to is, in the article that I read, there was like this weird path of like paywalls you had to knock down to get to the point where Mandy Rose would look at your junk. Yeah. Right. So you had to sign up for the website. Then you had to become a member of like the double nipple paywall club or something like that. So you had to knock down this wall, then you have to knock down that wall. Then for another like $50, you can get like, so it's like, I mean, it's a money making scheme. Yeah. If you've gotten that far, if you make it to level 10 to getting your junk rated, like you have definitely paid Mandy Rose a decent amount of money.
To look at your penis.
The other thing you might have missed this week we talked about was the ratings in AEW and WWE. There's been articles all week talking about how the ratings are kind of down based on the big three sports, based on basketball, football, and baseball. I think, Monday Night Raw is affected by Monday Night Football, whereas like AEW is more affected by baseball and basketball. I've over and over said it's nothing to panic about. I don't think, wrestling's never going to beat the big three sports.
No,
I mean,
agree.
NBA is always in danger. Their ratings are down. But as far as WWE and AEW go, I don't think it's a worry. My worry was, and I talked about this earlier today, was Tony Khan's reactions to these kind of things, right? he has a tendency to overreact. And I was telling you about AEW this week where he brought back Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Who is a guy who's kind of traveled from company to company. And he also brought in Colt Cabana. And these are overreactions to the ratings and trying to get the ratings up. But like, I don't know if there's a delusion within Tony Khan that he believes those names are big enough
that
to
people
make us
care.
Yeah. Or once again, I kind of laid into this and I'll talk to you about this. I think right now, AEW, with all of the shit that happened with the CM Punk stuff, Tony Khan has panicked and he's gone into a fan service mode. And AEW's always been a little bit about fan service, right? It's about pleasing the IWC, and that stands more important than commercial viability for AEW. And I think what's kind of what we're looking at here is like he's gone into a lockdown mode of pleasing. So fan service. You guys say I need help in the management side. I'm going to go get Jeff Jarrett, even though Jeff Jarrett has a track record of being part of failing companies, right?
Ew.
So you go get him, like, and I talked about it. It's weird. This happens in all professional sports, and it's funny to see it in wrestling. There's carousels of people who get involved in these businesses, right? And so you get like sports coaches. You'll see the same teams hire the same coaches who couldn't win games at other teams. And you go, why the fuck does this guy keep getting a job? And it's the same with wrestling, right? You see these same names pop up whenever there's a conversation. It's like Jim Cornette. It's Jeff Jarrett. It's Dixie Carter. And specifically, I'm just throwing out names that I hear over and over. But these names keep getting recycled from companies that don't find major success. And so I find that interesting that they do this. And to me, that it's one of AEW's problems. Also, the fan service thing with Colt Cabana, right? Bringing Colt Cabana back. Number one, that ultimately let us know he's done with CM Punk, right? You don't bring Colt Cabana back, give him this big fanfare if there's any intention to bring CM Punk back.
Agreed.
And so Colt Cabana comes out, he's doing his thing where he's like teary-eyed and the AEW fans are fucking eating this shit up, but I'm watching it, trying to be objective, trying to go, cool, this is cool, right? But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, outside of the fans that are already hardcore fans of AEW, this is doing nothing for their product. Nobody outside of this is going, oh my God, Colt Cabana's back?
I'm also just kind of tired of every time somebody comes back to AEW, like their first thing to do is like cry.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
But so I think what you're talking about is it's leading into fan service, right? Because almost every return has like this sentimental value. CM Punk's back.
Yeah.
We did this for the fans. Colt Cabana's back. We did this for the fans. Saraya's back. We did this for the fans. And there is a little bit of this like fan service thing that's going on. And
I mean, we saw him in person and it wasn't just like
we saw him locally. He's like what I said earlier today was he's not good and he's not bad.
Yeah.
He's a just solid professional wrestler. He's 42 years old. So his athleticism's not through the roof. He's not a guy who's kept himself in like amazing shape.
Yeah.
He's not overly charismatic. He's charismatic, but he's nothing about Colt Cabana screams like this guy's going to be a superstar. And he's proven that time. And he's had runs in WWE. He's had runs in AEW. And I said it earlier today. What happened is this big fanfare was a product more of circumstance than it was of like just
him being great.
Colt Cabana. Yeah. This was more all the people who were pissed off at CM Punk. They were all just kind of shooting the finger at CM Punk going, ha ha, Colt Cabana's back. And I'm like, all right, like you guys, AEW and IWC, you're going to keep this circle small. It's what the goal is. I've said it over and over, right? The IWC wants to gatekeep. They don't want to let the casual fans in.
Yeah.
They like this idea that we are the elite fans. We are the smarter wrestling fans. So they want to keep this circle small, but in doing so, you then can't be mad when like your product is essentially, it's not growing the way it should grow. When you have names like Moxley and Bryan Danielson and MJF and you had CM Punk, you should have been growing.
I mean, I've lost interest in it since the beginning. Like I was super excited and then we started watching WWE more, but I don't even know what's going on.
But AEW continues to push names that aren't attractive to anybody but AEW fans, right? You get these New Japan people who show up and the IWC fucking lose their shit. Oh my God, it's Shibata or something like that. Yeah. And we go, I don't know who the fuck that is. And I really don't care who the fuck that is.
Somebody?
Right? Is this another Biden guy? Right? Outside of if I hear John Moxley, I kind of pay attention. MJF, I really pay attention. Jericho, I pay attention. And Bryan Danielson, I sometimes pay attention. Outside of that, they haven't done a good job. Maybe Orange Cassidy, right? That is the one guy that gets shit on all the time by the IWC, but that's the one guy they've built up to be kind of a commercially viable guy. Other than that, it's a bunch of guys who look exactly alike, that have a bunch of generic names, that are just really, really good wrestlers. Yeah. But that doesn't get me involved in the product. Mm-hmm. Once I'm there, I can pay attention to those guys. They don't have enough people that bring me in to pay attention to the product.
Yeah.
Another thing you might have missed this week was Bianca Belair and Montez Ford have been given a reality show on Hulu. This is exciting.
I'm super excited about that.
I mean, like if there were two people I would want to watch on reality TV, that's probably them.
I agree.
They're super interesting. We saw them at Fan Access at WrestleMania last year, and they were just sitting there listening to them talk was entertaining. So I imagine that being able to take just a peek into their lives will be interesting. I mean,
and I love reality TV, so I'm super excited about it. Like for me, my WWE journey started off with WrestleMania
and Total Divas and things like that.
And then we went to Total Divas, and then I kind of got into it. Then we kind of fell off for a little bit.
And Total Divas, I think, was even more of a weird, like, I don't know that male wrestling fans necessarily fell in love with Total Divas because there was a lot of drama and it was really scripted as like a reality TV show. I get it. It was like in that vein. I think like the Miz and Mrs., which I've watched a little bit, too. Admittedly.
I watched that.
I haven't watched Corey and Carmella, which I probably should.
I have not watched that one, but
weirdly, it's like a YouTube show, right?
Yeah.
It's not, so that's a little harder to get to. But like this is one that I definitely will watch.
For sure.
I'm a fan of both of them. And I imagine that like you're going to get insights into Angelo Dawkins.
Oh, yeah,
and so all of those people were extremely interesting. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited for that. Now, last thing you missed, not you, people listening might have missed if you didn't watch The Daily Show this week, was I talked about R-Truth being injured. And we got an update today, and he tore a quadricep in his leg, which is a scary, scary injury, hard to rehab from, takes a lot of time. And you posed a question to me when we talked about this off camera. You said, I want to talk about how old is too old to wrestle? And I think that's a great question to ask.
Yeah.
Because how old is too old? Because it's a little bit of a subjective question, right? Because you have guys like Sting who seems invincible.
Yeah.
Sting seems like he's diving off of stages at 60-something years old. Then you have guys like Ric Flair who are getting in matches and dehydrating and passing out and coming back and saying, I don't remember where the fuck I was. And you go,
fucking crazy.
Well, he's too old to wrestle, right?
Yes.
Then you have guys like this article that came out today that like Stone Cold was like, I enjoyed my match so much at WrestleMania, I think I'd like to do it again.
How old is Stone Cold?
50-something?
Yeah.
50-something, right? And so like I know as an athlete who's let myself go a little bit, your body breaks down. Like I can't do the things I used to do. These guys keep themselves in a little better shape, but I the problem is you look at guys in their 40s, like AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, some of these guys, Asuka, right? Mm-hmm. And they still do it at such a high level that you have a hard time going.
Now 40 is the cutoff.
Yeah, right. 45, 46,
So who's
50.
in the 50 age group?
Like R-Truth.
Just him?
No, I mean, I don't, wrestlers in their 50s.
That would be an interesting
I can pull
question,
it up for you.
Also, what's the median age of wrestlers in WWE?
The median age?
Yeah.
I think that's tough. They have young guys, wrestlers that are 50.
Well, so like, let's look at like Charlotte Flair, right? Almost 40. Becky Lynch, closer to 40 than 30.
Big Show.
But he's not wrestling.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this. I'm just trying to see if anybody here. Looks like Big Show. They got R-Truth.
Injured.
I mean, really, R-Truth is the only one.
So is 50 the cutoff then?
Yeah.
And you have anomalies, maybe?
The 15 oldest active wrestlers now.
Okay, who would those be?
Let's see. We've got Triple H, but he's done. 51. This is probably an old article. Fit Finlay, he's done. Nash, done. Yeah, this has got to be an old article.
How old is Edge?
Good question. Probably 40s. I'm guessing 40 something. Goldberg is 54 and he keeps, that's one of the Twitter things today.
We'll talk about that later. But I mean,
Edge is 49, so he's right on the edge.
okay, so he's like 50.
But he's talking about retiring. I mean,
Okay,
I think he said next year's. So maybe 50 is that number, right?
Yeah,
Your body
maybe-
just is not ready to go at 50. At 50 years old, you should start to shut it down. And the problem is like with
There's
our
different avenues you could still be active in wrestling.
I get it, but so here comes the next problem that I've talked about. This is all some of these guys know. This is all some of these
True.
guys can do. And if they don't possess the ability to like podcast or get a management job in wrestling, what do they do? Where do you go from there?
I mean, that's hard. What if he became like a manager or something?
That's great, but that's so like, what is the word I'm looking for? It relies so heavy on WWE willing to use you, right?
True.
If you wrestle and R-Truth controls his own destiny, like he can wrestle, he's funny, he can do all these things, there's a spot for him. But even as a wrestler, he doesn't get much time on TV anymore. So now you're saying, well, I just want to be a manager. Well, who do we have available right now that R-Truth fits to be a manager? I think 100% he could do it.
Yeah.
And R-Truth is probably a bad example because he's got charisma out the fucking ass. But I do think like as you get to 50, you have to start thinking about how to transition.
I mean, well, hot topic. Like a Colt Cabana. Could a Colt Cabana be a manager?
Colt Cabana doesn't need to. I think Colt Cabana owns pro wrestling tees and stuff. I don't think Colt Cabana is not in trouble of needing the money. Colt Cabana, I believe, wrestles because Colt Cabana wants to wrestle. Yeah,
because I want to wrestle.
Let's talk about a few things I found on Twitter this week, Lauren.
All right.
So I found a tweet from Ringside News that asked, should WWE bring back Ryback to face off against Goldberg? I thought this was very fitting based on your age thing. No. Fuck no.
Thank you.
Please no. God, no. These, like, Ryback's been gone too long. It's the arguments when like a quarterback's been missing for like 7 years and like, no, he could Tim Tebow could still go. No, man, you've been out of the game for too long, right?
Yeah.
Ryback's been gone too long. I don't want to see Ryback wrestle. And like my man HyperX always says, I fucking please no. I don't want to see Goldberg in the ring. He's not interesting anymore. And it's like, once again, when you're 50 something, that physical aspect is a little bit gone, right? You're not, the allure is gone for somebody like Goldberg. So there's nothing that really sells me on this idea that I want to see Goldberg get back in the ring.
True.
Something else I found on Twitter, Lauren, did you know that, and this comes from Sportskeeda, Asuka is the only woman to hold the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship with 3 different partners.
No, I did not know that.
So yes, that is, I believe, with Kairi Sane, with Charlotte Flair, and with Alexa Bliss.
Nice.
So I thought that was interesting. That sometimes those little facts are fun.
I believe that she was like 42.
I mean, it's crazy
because she looks so young. Like I mean, like younger, I should say.
I agree. At the press conference, like, the crowd was fucking all about Asuka. It was
really?
It was
I didn't
interesting.
get to see those parts. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch it after.
And all she's got to say is like, "You are not ready for Asuka." The fucking, oh no, we're not fucking ready. We're not ready. The last thing I got here from Twitter that I thought was funny. I got a little story to go along with this one, but WWE on Fox tweeted out, "Let's hear it. What WWE catchphrase do you randomly yell out loud?" And I know one that we both yell. I'll see. Do you know it? What? Hey, I didn't even think about that.
It's a banger.
The banger one is something you just started randomly saying things were bangers, and we could not figure out where it came from.
And we were fucking watching wrestling,
and we saw Sheamus. It was like, that's it. That's where that came from.
My favorite wrestler.
I was gonna say the shoosh.
Oh yeah,
shoosh, please.
Thank you.
I say that all the time, but the one I thought was funniest is, and it just in our household, I thought it was funny. Is suck it. Like, we still say suck it.
It does.
And we got our 7-year-old daughter saying suck it.
Yep.
And she went with her grandma this past weekend.
Yep.
And they went to like one of these trampoline places, right?
Yes.
And she was up on the slide and she yelled, "Suck it!" and then slid down. And this kid is very well behaved.
Yes.
Like, she does nothing wrong, but I've taught her to say suck it. And so grandma was not happy with 7-year-old Skylar saying suck it on her way down the slide. I took an extreme amount of joy from that.
I know you did.
I took an extreme amount of joy. Because
awesome.
she's the most well-behaved kid. She'll never say it at school. She'll never say it in the wrong context.
Yeah.
But like on that slide, she was ready to go hit him with the X and was just like, you know what? Fuck it. suck it, I'm going down this slide. And it was fucking like, that was gold.
Yep.
All right, Lauren, let me ask you some questions about Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. A few questions I have after watching wrestling this week.
Okay.
Are all these random returns, and I'm speaking of like Emma, are they still exciting? Or are we starting to feel like a little bit of like, we criticize AEW for doing these every week, but are some of these starting to feel like we're taking roster spots away from other people?
Yes. 100%. Because I mean, like, while I know you like Emma, I don't really have any remembrance of her. So like, I feel like there's other people who should come before.
So interesting. You said like, I like Emma. I have a memory of a version of Emma that I enjoy. That was not her.
Yeah.
At all. The Emma that I liked was very ditzy and like, doot, 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 doot. That was the Emma we got was a very like the new version of Emma, what she became on the indies. And unfortunately, like I say this all the time, she became just another wrestler.
Yeah.
She got in that ring with Ronda Rousey, and I'm like you. For anybody who didn't know who Emma was and why some of us older wrestling fans were excited, they're just like, oh, okay, this girl's cool.
There's another new girl. Okay.
But like, for people like me who had this memory, I was like, that's not.
I mean, she's not a fucking fairy. She's not like
she didn't
something
have
crazy. What is your gimmick?
And she used to have like this ditzy kind of fun-loving gimmick where she came out
like
and
a Bailey, like a hugger, like
not even Bailey. You'd have to go back and maybe we'll go back and watch an Emma match for WWE
It'll
review.
Be a banger.
But yeah, like and so I look and I go like, because now I'm starting to watch NXT a little more and I see faces and I go, some of these girls look ready.
Yeah,
they look
I
ready
really
to
like
move
the
up.
Characters that they have on NXT and how they do like those little tidbits.
Yeah, like Indy Hartwell feels like somebody who that would have been, to me, even a bigger surprise to have her show up on SmackDown than to bring back Emma. Now, I get the Emma thing a little bit. That's Madcap Moss's girlfriend.
Okay.
So she's probably already kind of hanging around in the mix. It probably wasn't hard. She probably didn't go for a ton of money. You get the contract, you get the one-off pop. But I do feel like if we're going to fucking like, if we're going to come down on Tony Khan every week for these surprises, we have to talk a little bit about the same thing with WWE and go like, that one fell a little bit flat to me. I'm a little bit over, unless you're bringing back somebody of high importance at this point. I think the WWE roster is pretty solid and set in stone for me. All right, Lauren. Second question I have for you. Is Sami Zayn a sleeper for Superstar of the Year? Let me preface this. At the end of the year, in December, we are going to do our first official Notorious Casual Wrestling Awards. And we are going to give out awards. And we're going to...
Who's voting on them?
Me and you.
Okay.
Me and you. We're going to vote on them. And we're going to pick our favorites. And maybe we'll have a fan award and stuff like that. But we'll do this. And just back to the question. You answer it. Is Sami Zayn a sleeper for Superstar of the Year? Now really think about this, because you got to think like Roman Reigns. You got to think like who.
So you just asked me if he was a sleeper, though. You didn't ask me if he was.
I agree. Is he a sleeper? Is he in the year? Is he in the conversation?
Yes.
Okay.
And my reasoning behind this is Uzi, man. I mean, like, he fucking has a way with the crowd. And I remember when we first started getting back and I was watching like podcasts and I found out his whole life story, and I told you like, oh, he's this and he's that and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, he's an interesting dude.
I liked him, but then I fell in love with him. I'm sorry. I love him.
No, I get it. I mean, I get it. I understand. I fell in love with him. Like, if we're just saying it right, he's a lovable character.
Yeah, like you want him.
You love Sami Zayn, the character. I get it. Like the Uzi.
And I kind of don't like when he's like mean to Jay. I want him to not be a bad guy. It hurts me a little bit in my soul.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I think he's a sleeper. I think that if I really go back and look, it's going to be hard to beat Roman.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard. Seth Rollins is probably in that conversation. Cody Rhodes was on track. If he doesn't come back, I don't think you can put him in that conversation. Yeah. But we'll probably narrow it down to four people in every category. And I do believe that Sami Zayn will be in there. And I do believe that me and you will, when we have the conversation,
it'll be a hard conversation.
We will make an argument for Sami Zayn being Superstar of the Year, especially if anything happens with Sami in the next 2 months.
I agree, 100%.
All right, Lauren.
Yes.
Question 3.
Okay.
Is Seth Rollins officially back to being a babyface? in your eyes? Change your hair, change your character. That's what I always say. I
noticed his hair the other day,
I always say, you called it out to me.
Hey, he bleached his hair.
But that's not I don't think that's by accident. I think that when Seth Rollins is changing character, he does physical things. Becky cut her hair. I think that Seth he's a student of the game. And I don't think that was like happenstance. I think he's changing.
When he was with the Shield, was he a heel or a baby face?
I think they were heels.
Okay.
But I don't think so. You're looking into this as that's not the same hairstyle. He had a streak of blonde. He definitely has like a ombre of blonde right now. So I just think it's a character change.
I honestly, I can't answer that question because I'm still kind of a little bit confused on who the baby faces and who the heels are, to be 100%.
I got you. So here's what I noticed. It looks like he was slapping hands with fans, which usually is tail sign number one that you've gone babyface. If you'll watch, if a guy is a heel, I think he's told don't interact or high five the crowd.
Why Bailey doesn't do it anymore.
Exactly, right? Now, live shows, they may do it, but I'm talking about on television. But Seth was doing a little bit of crowd interaction. I think the hair change equals new character. I don't know. Like, I'm with you on the fact that now it's not as cut and dry of like babyface heel, like MJF, Seth Rollins. These guys can blur the lines.
Yeah.
But I think internally Seth Rollins is being listed as a babyface. And that's why I said at Crown Jewel, there's an open challenge for the United States Championship. If this is Mustafa Ali, that puts him in such a bad position. Because once again, you're forcing him to adapt and change his character. He's just now starting to get over with the crowd. And now if he's got to work heel against Seth Rollins as babyface, I don't love that. But I do think that Seth Rollins has changed to a babyface.
Okay.
Question 4 here, Lauren. Does Otis need more opportunities to showcase his comedy skills?
Oh, fuck yeah. I loved when he did his whole moves and everything.
The gyrating.
Hell yeah.
He's Chris Farley is what he is. I mean, he is WWE's Chris Farley. Oh, he's great.
So you told me that he's done that before, right? Like the worm or whatever or something?
Yeah, when he was with Heavy Machinery, he was definitely more comedic. He did the worm was one of his moves. And so then he got with Gable and they got serious and they were like a contending tag team. And now they've moved back into what I'd call a jobbing comedic role, which they do better than anybody, right? Mm-hmm. They're able to lose, but still come out and stay relevant. But I think it's time for those two to just let go and have fun.
I agree.
Gable is extremely funny. I think Otis has a great personality. Let those guys just cut loose and make the crowd laugh, and they'll get back over with the crowd. Because there was a minute, like when they were doing some of the stuff with RK Bro, that they were pretty hot. People were big on them, and so I think that if they want to get back there, allow Otis to allow that move back into his moveset, allow the gyrating in his entrance.
Yes.
Give him because
when he was like, one more time, I was like, one more time for what? What is he talking about, Dustin?
You're allowed to do it one more time. Yeah. He stopped him from doing the worm because at one point he kind of told him like, look, if people can take you serious, you got to get serious. But I think it's time to like unleash Otis again.
Yes.
And allow him to do that. Last question I have for you, Lauren.
Okay.
And you may have a very different opinion on this, but did WWE kill the Dexter Lumis and Miz storyline by giving us kind of an unsatisfying conclusion? And that's a very baited question.
Okay, give me a little more. Like, what do you mean?
I'll start then. I hated the explanation. Mm-hmm. I told you from the beginning, I never felt like this was a comedy thing. You called on early and said, I think this is supposed to be funny. I was like, okay, then I will view this as a comedic thing, and it got funny, right?
Yeah.
It was Dexter Lumis terrorizing The Miz. Now we get this weird explanation that The Miz was paying Lumis to show up and kidnap him for sympathy, which I don't think this was the original explanation that they were going with. You're blurring. You might have to sit up a little bit.
Sorry, is this better?
Yeah. I don't think that's the original explanation they were going to go with. And then they went with it. And I think then they got into the thing where they backed themselves in the corner where they had to talk themselves out of some weird conversations of like, well, he lost the United States title championship on purpose. And I don't know, like you don't feel like that killed off
You're just basically saying like it was a bad ending is what you're telling me.
I guess that's the ending. I feel like it was a bad explanation. I feel like that they backed themselves into a story. I feel like that Dexter Lumis came on the scene. I don't know if there was a plan to use Tommaso Ciampa and he got hurt. Mm-hmm. You have Johnny Gargano getting involved. I don't know if there was a plan to build.
Because I feel like Johnny got involved like randomly.
Well, so this is the mix up of like, I think the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I think there's all fallout. I think they thought for a second they were going to pair Johnny Gargano with Kevin Owens and just move on with what they hadn't planned for Sami. Okay. Then they probably pulled back and said, no, we'll just hold off. We'll let Kevin wait on Sami, which left Gargano kind of out in the open. They did the weird payoff for Gargano in theory on like a Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
So he was kind of done with that. So then they slid him over and got him involved in the Miz thing. And the 60 minutes like style presentation was cool and funny. Cool. I had no problem. It was the actual explanation that I was like, ooh, that didn't like.
Yeah, well, because like the secret he had wasn't that big of a secret, and then like
it almost to me like killed the Lumis character because Lumis was supposed to be this weird kind of cringy guy, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, Lumis was just in this for money. Like he showed back up for money, and the Miz hired him to come back.
Yeah, because like now what happens to Dexter Lumis? Like he's just going to fall off and die. So then yes, my answer to that would be yes. I do think that they did because they didn't really give us closure and not like a viable answer.
And it'll probably continue to go on and move on, but now it's just this weird like dispute over money. And that's not as enticing to me. I think that's a cheap way to run a storyline is like, oh, this guy owes me money or this. Like it's not. I lost interest. They lost my interest in that match. All right, Lauren, let's get to the topic of the week. Okay. Topic of the week of this week, of course, is Crown Jewel is tomorrow. We've got to make our predictions. I believe now. I'm gonna have to check the records, but I believe this is going on my third premium live event.
This is where you'll be dethroned.
No, I don't know.
Okay, you know what? You can take that stupid belt because I'm gonna take the drop of the belt. Fucking
no, see, you can't do that. You can't do. I don't like when people do that. Okay, be humble in this moment and then talk your shit in that moment. Right now, this is the big prize. This is the big the drop the belt is like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. This is the universal title as far as I'm concerned inside of this company. Okay, well, let's talk about it, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 possible matches, it looks like. Man, I mean, this card is stacked. We got a Bray Wyatt appearance, possibly a United States Championship appearance.
Okay, so who's going first, me or you?
Well, we'll start. We'll start with Damage Control versus Alexa and Asuka. Who do you want to pick first?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's Damage Control versus Alexa and Asuka. That's
for the tag team championship again.
I'm gonna go Damage Control.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to Alexa and Asuka. I don't think that the belts flip back and forth, and here's why. Let me explain. I like to give explanation with my answers because they're well thought out. I think Sasha and Naomi are coming back.
Okay.
I think this is the transition. I don't think they wanted them immediately going against Damage Control. I think that Alexa and Asuka are short term solution to the tag team titles.
Yeah.
And I think that either at Crown Jewel or Monday Night Raw after, I do believe there's been some reports about events getting shifted around that Sasha Banks was supposed to be at. Yeah. And now there's scheduling conflicts.
And she tweeted out a while back, like the rumors are true.
She was hanging out with, she was hanging out with the New Day and them at the Black Panther premiere.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that like it's about, I think she's coming back. If nothing else happened, she didn't get released. She didn't end up in another company. I think that at this point, it's pretty safe to believe she got to take a break. I think that she's going to get a run with the tag team titles here. In a serious good run with against Damage Control. They're building that up. I do think Alexa and Asuka win this match.
Okay.
So that's one we differ on.
Yep.
Now, let me go on record as saying, like, there was at one point when I made my predictions, I was all over the place and I was going to go real wild. I think I kind of reined myself back in.
I'm just going straight with my gut.
I know you are.
That's how I live life.
I know you are. All right, so let's go the Usos versus the Brawling Brutes for the tag team championships.
The Usos.
I'm with you.
The Usos.
The Brawling Brutes will...
Somebody in that Will has to keep the belts.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Usos are going to win. I don't think this is the one I'm probably most sure about. The Brawling Brutes will give a hell of a match, but without Sheamus right now, you know, he's storyline hurt because I think he got married. So, yeah, zero reason for the Brawling Brutes to take the belts off of the Usos.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. This is, okay, so let me start off. This is one that I am 50-50 on.
Brock Lesnar.
I'm Brock Lesnar as well, but I mean, it feels that's a momentum killer for Bobby Lashley.
Lesnar.
Yeah, but he's Bobby Lashley. Like both of these guys.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, is Brock staying around
Paul's
after this?
Gonna leave?
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, that's not happening. But I'm with you, Brock Lesnar on this one.
Yeah,
I'm going Brock.
Brockity Brock.
Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross.
This is one that I'm kind of like. I feel like you can't kill Karrion Kross yet.
That's the way I feel.
So I'm gonna go Karrion Kross, even though I love Drew McIntyre.
I'm begrudgingly going Karrion Kross as well because there go my points for the fantasy wrestling league. I have Drew McIntyre, but I do believe that somehow Scarlett will get involved in a cage match, and like
they'll cheat, and
there'll be some cool there will be something cool that happens, like fire or something like that. Drew will be at the top and fire will hit or something, and he'll fall back in, and then Kross will sneakily get the win. So I'm with you on that. I think Karrion Kross takes that. So far the only thing we disagree on is damage control and Alexa and Asuka. Interesting. Braun Strowman versus Omos.
Braun Strowman. I'm
with you on that too.
I don't. So I've got to watch the press conference because I don't like Omos because he's boring to me.
He had a little bit of energy.
You're telling me I could possibly change my mind.
But you're locking in right now, Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Braun.
All right, Braun Strowman. The OC versus the Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day.
I'm Judgment Day as well.
And I have no idea what your predictions are, so these are just
I know.
my mind.
I know. Unfortunately, I think we don't
know enough about the OC yet for them to be relevant.
And I still think like as they're clearly trying to push behind Dominic Mysterio.
I was just about to say, Baby Boy is about to do something.
You can't just chalk him full of losses and meaningless losses. And I think they're trying to build behind.
He's going to do something and win it for them.
I think they're building behind Rhea Ripley and they're building behind Dominic Mysterio. I do think there will be some kind of like surprise return. I don't think it's Charlotte at this point. It'll be someone less than that returns to help the OC because they're really pushing that like the OC has a Rhea problem.
Yeah.
So I do think someone will return, but I think that like Rhea will squash that out, and I think the Judgment Day wins.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair versus Bayley.
Bianca Belair.
I have Bayley.
Okay.
This is interesting.
All right.
And it's against every moral fiber in me, but I just think that going into WrestleMania season, Bianca needs to be chasing and not front running. I believe that Bianca needs to lose the belt. Bayley can take it. I think Charlotte should come back and take the belt off of Bayley. That gives you Charlotte and Bayley for the next couple of months with Bianca chasing from behind. And then at WrestleMania, I think Bianca should win the belt again and not be a front runner. Bianca does so much better. Now, this is probably wrong. I'm probably 100% wrong. Bianca probably wins. This is what's going to end up causing us a tie, I think. But I'm going Bayley. I just feel in my heart of hearts that Bianca doesn't need a long title run. She could lose it, win it back, whatever. I think Bayley needs a win.
Yeah, I could see that.
And especially with, I think, Damage Control not winning, I think Bayley will win.
True.
Okay, last one, Roman versus Logan. I have all week, this has eaten me up.
I've said who it was from the beginning. It's Logan. I love Roman, but it's Logan.
So you're officially on paper putting Logan Paul down.
Yes, I wrote it on your TikTok, fool. It is Logan 100%. I'm Team L.
And I have gone all week saying that like it has crept in. It just hasn't.
You said something like if the Paul brothers show up or some shit like that.
Yeah, but it hasn't crept in enough to push me over the top enough.
Jake is here.
Here's the problem. This is the problem. Like in my heart, I want Logan to win. Because I think it makes for so much more exciting path forward. If Logan wins, it disrupts everything in the fucking wrestling industry, right? All the IWC will fucking be pissed. All these hardcore WWE fans will be pissed. There will be a casual fan base that's like, holy shit, he won, and this is funny and like hilarious. So I like in my heart of heart, I want him to win, but my problem is I'm playing odds here. I'm playing odds here, and if you look, like the reality is the odds are. Like it's probably 99% that Roman wins, and there's just a 1% chance that somebody said, fuck it, let's try Logan. There's just like 2 years of Roman having this belt just feels like so much time to invest to then go, all right, Logan Paul's the guy.
But so I see him losing with the one lucky punch, and then Roman coming back and saying like, he cheated. I mean, I get it. I see him losing. A technicality or something that maybe he didn't really lose the belt. I
see him losing because of Jake, right? I see Jake. Jake's the biggest thing in combat sports right now. He just beat Anderson Silva. What if Jake gets that one fucking punch in, knocks Roman out, and somehow Logan?
What if they distract the referee? Jake comes in there, punches him in the face, pins, and then he comes in and pins him.
That's what I'm saying. I see that, but it's such a long shot thought. And it's almost so much a long shot that I can then go, that's all going to happen. Mm-hmm. Jake's going to get in the ring. He's going to punch Roman in the face. Roman's going to go down. Logan's going to go for the pin. And fucking Roman's going to kick out. And it's going to be this thing of like, there's nothing you can do to stop Roman Reigns. Ooh. Now, one just outside thing that I said today on the podcast that I know you didn't listen today on the Daily Show.
I didn't get to all of it yet.
I have a weird suspicion.
Okay.
That this last match of the night is not going to be in a ring. It's not going to be in a standard WWE ring. I have a weird suspicion. This is a long shot. I have no information. This is a guess. Omos and Braun Strowman. What if that is the second to last match? Because that's usually a time filler, right? You heard this part? Yeah. What if they break the ring? That feels like a very, very possible thing that could happen in Saudi Arabia. If those two guys, you sell these big matches when you put these two guys that are 300, 400 pounds in the ring. These matches are always sold that like the ring's not strong enough.
Yeah.
We saw it Mark Henry Big Show.
A ton.
We've seen it numerous times. I could see the ring getting destroyed, and then it becomes more of like a boxing type match because maybe the ropes fall off. Maybe the ring is impaired, and it becomes this like almost Paul Heyman going, we're not going to fight. And Logan is going, fuck it, dude. Let's fight. Let's go. Yeah. And it does become this like Roman's very unsure. What do we do? I can see that happening. That's a wild, out of left field prediction, but I definitely could see
that'd be crazy.
That happening.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm Roman, you're Logan. So
there's 3 different things that we're doing.
So the only place that points can be earned is in Damage Control versus Alexa Asuka. You chose Bianca and Bayley. I think we're probably canceling each other out. It's going to come down to Roman Logan, which will make it fun.
Yeah.
Now I gotta tell you, here's the plan. We gotta talk about. We're not watching this during the day tomorrow, right?
No.
We are a nighttime premium live event, so like we're gonna have to cut off tonight all social media. So I need to let everybody know. All my people who message me, I apologize in advance. I'm not talking until probably Sunday because I got to go on 100% media lockdown. I don't want to know what happens because I'm actually excited about this event. Me too. I'm definitely excited. All right, so let's finish the show off. I want to talk real quick. We are going to be doing a little bit of a change to the end of this show. From here on out, today we're going to talk about Fantasy Wrestling League. Okay. But this is going to become its own segment and its own video where we take 15 to 20 minutes to really talk and have fun and interact with those people because this is kind of a niche thing. Like we've got like 15 people that are involved in this and this has become a lot of fun. So I want to kind of move that to its own thing where we can give it time and talk because I always feel like at the end of the show, it might be boring for the other
if you're not
200
like,
something listeners who aren't participating in this. Bitch. And hey, if you're not participating, I think December 24th is the end of the season. Yeah. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it bigger.
Dethrone the champion, me.
Shit. All right. So at this point, I'm not going to talk about me and you, our individual league. Yeah. I think you can concede in that league. You've won, right?
You've got it.
I took that league. So let's talk about the one league that really matters. And that is, so by the way, we're going to go back to 20 questions.
Okay.
But now that you've watched wrestling for a year, we're gonna flip it around and you're gonna guess.
Okay.
And I will answer the questions because I can answer the questions.
But it's only
current WWE, SmackDown, and Raw wrestlers. I'm gonna give you maybe 2 months, and then we will introduce NXT into the mix. But to start, active WWE, they have to be. I'll make you this deal. They have to appear on the WWE website, like on the roster page. When you click superstars and you either go to Raw or SmackDown roster, they have to be there.
Okay.
So I can get tricky within that. Starting with what?
Are we starting that right now?
No, that's next week.
Okay, I'm going to go do some research.
Next week. This week, we're going to end the show just talking about the casual wrestling community Premier League. All right, so you're in first place. I mean, take your flowers, take your trophies, and you're.
And how much am I in first place?
You're pulling away a little bit, and it's Io Sky.
That's
now, I've seen the rumblings and the message boards.
What?
You don't have the tag team titles anymore. Those points are going to slow down.
Fucking shit.
Tremendously.
But when they win it back.
Now, LG RSM, who wrote me on Instagram, got to put a face to the name. It's cool. Like anybody who wants to message us through the best account to do it through is probably Instagram, the casual wrestling page. You can kind of get direct access to us. So if you want to message, but I got to put a face to his name, and he said he's coming for the #1 spot, but he has Dakota Kai. So both of you are in a little bit of the same position there as far as not having. He's got Asuka though. Ooh. So he's covered in that vein. Ooh, that's interesting. No. That's interesting. He's got Bobby Lashley, Ridge Holland, Cody Rhodes, Snuggles. Our boy Snuggles dropped down to third place. He's 10 out of second. So there's a real power struggle in the second and third place spot.
Who do I have again?
You have Io Sky, Riddle, which is solid. Okay. Elias, Butch, and LA Knight. Here's your problem.
But none of them are fucking.
Not a lot going on at Crown Jewel for you.
Damn it, motherfuckers.
You got Io Sky, which is a long shot. Riddle's not fighting, right? Riddle's not in Crown Jewel. He? No. I mean, open challenge could be Riddle, but he's not going to win. He's not going to beat Seth Rollins.
But he could.
Elias, Butch, they're fighting. They're just not going to win.
You don't know that.
So tonight, LA Knight's fighting Ricochet, so you could probably get some points there.
Okay.
He'll probably win that match. In fourth place, 211 points, 3 VLG. In fifth place, Ocasio with 202. So it's bunched up in that position too. 193 from Super Kick Me. Breezy, 170. Alex the Pants, 162. Big A, 155. D. Cole, 151. King Boast, 148. I have 114 points, Lauren.
How many points do I have?
I have 114. And my roster's not bad. It's just not good. It's just not good. So but I kind of took an introspective of this. I'm the commissioner of the league, and it wouldn't be fun for me to win.
No.
So I kind of feel like I take this back seat for you guys. I do this for you guys.
Thank you because so much.
In season 1, the last thing I needed was controversy coming out of season 1, right? It's
greatly appreciated.
It's fixed. He's very Vince McMahon. I like to run my company very Triple H-esque. I like to be fair and transparent. I'm not throwing any swerves out there right now. But yes, here's the one thing. This is what I'm gonna say. This is my goal. I'm not getting last place.
All right.
I'm not getting last place. B-Master 84. I just want you to know it's on.
All right.
It's on. I'm not getting the fucking last place award.
All right.
If I get the last place award, I'm buying a last place trophy.
Okay, I like it.
And putting it behind me, and it will stay there until the next season.
The world's biggest loser.
Oh, man. There's nothing on the free agent market either. I mean, I looked. There's nothing there. I tried to pick up Nikki Cross. Someone picked her up. It's not happening. Yeah. You have anything else to talk about?
No, I'm excited about this weekend.
It's been a good week, been a fun week. I'm going to put up a blog this weekend that just explains kind of the first week of the content.
They need to listen to your daily podcast next week.
Yeah, guys, start listening. I understand you don't have to
do it live. Yeah, I listen to it while I'm working. So.
I know we're recording it as a live show. I debate back and forth on why it's live. I don't love doing live content.
Yeah.
I see there's a little bit of interaction, not a lot. I don't really, it's the videos are getting the views that I want. Like it's making it, it's just hitting late, which is fine. I have no problem with that. Any suggestions that people have, go ahead. I've toyed with the idea of doing it later in the day, but I don't love that. I've liked the schedule of getting up, recording the show, and then posting the content. Yeah, guys, check that out. And still, go to patreon.com.
So when you look for the videos, because like I was looking, because I didn't watch you live today, you have to search for it, and then I have to go to your live videos, and that's what it shows up underneath.
But it has its own playlist on the YouTube page.
Yeah, I think it says live.
But it also has a playlist.
Okay, then I missed it.
I will teach you how to do it.
Lauren-ize it.
I will.
All right.
Everybody, go to patreon.com. This is not about... The Patreon thing bothers me.
Well, because what happens is like we get TikToks and Instagrams, and then I think there might still be people in the Facebook. I don't know.
So I'll tell you what happened.
I don't even log on to that motherfucker.
You're blurring again.
Sorry.
Sit up. We'll fix that next week.
All right.
I'll tell you what happens to me. And it's a weird thing. Like I get messages on Facebook. Then I get messages on Instagram. Then I get messages on TikTok. And I get these all in different places. And it's different people asking different questions, community questions, even friendship questions, whatever, just things. But it's hard for me to answer and keep up with who is who and what's going on. It would be much simpler if everybody was in one place. And we tried it with Facebook, but Facebook is so convoluted and forces you to do things, and it's very biased on who it shows what you're doing. Kicked us out of our own Facebook. Some guy hijacked our Facebook and was posting all his content inside our Facebook.
Yeah.
So I didn't enjoy that. I toyed around with Discord. Don't love that. Discord's a young man's game. I'm not trying to do that. Patreon, after doing all the research, and I put a ton of research into it, was the easiest place to form a community.
You are definitely a researcher, so I trust you.
The problem is the word Patreon fucking scares people. It's like hearing GoFundMe or those things.
Yeah.
They hear it and they go, oh, he wants money.
Yeah.
It's not that. I just wanted a place where I could just simply post. Like, I wish I could change the name of the website, right? Or just like label it our website. But please go join, and so that I can get feedback. I can post updates and things like that. And then we can all kind of
talk to each other and like talk about different things and stuff.
Exactly.
Like besties.
But this has been another episode of the CWC Wrestling Podcast. Make sure to tune in every week, Friday, listening on YouTube or Spotify, and leave comments on the video. Also, make sure to follow us on TikTok. That is our other big social media platform. I am going to make a little bit of a push into the Instagram world.
Okay.
I'm going to try it. I feel like I've topped off my audience in TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely...
People they either like me or don't like me by now. So I'm going to try and go invade the fucking Instagram world and see if I can get anything out of there.
All right.
Like I said, search Notorious Nerdy D. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. Don't do much of the tweeting. I have a Twitter, but don't do much of it. I am Nerdy D. That is Level Up Lauren. Lauren, go ahead and ring us the final bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Step in the ring. If you ready, let's go. Hey, casual wrestling community show. You already know. Talking WWE. Keep it rolling and hosted by Notorious Nerdy D. Don't show that you gon' find. Tune in cause it's online. Hit him with a figure 4 leg lock, power driver or clothesline. We bringing that heat like for show. But you should